In this lecture, I'm going to discuss the different options that students have for doing lab builds for the exam. One of the biggest questions for students, whether they're starting CCNA or CCNP, is how they're going to do the lab study. And when it comes to CCNA, the best option and the most cost-effective is, of course, Packet Tracer. In fact, Packet Tracer is more than enough for all of the CCNA topics that you'll find on the syllabus. In addition to that, you can also use it for approximately 50% of the topics on the CCNP Encore exam. So what I'm going to do in this lecture is to discuss the various options for students, weigh both the cost and the features, and specifically what the best option is available for CCNP students. And this article compares Packet Tracer, GNS3, and Virl, as well as physical equipment. I'm going to go just to the bottom of the article here, and I've got a table that I put together. And you can see from the table I've got 4 columns. I've got Packet Tracer, GNS3, Virl, and Physical. And keep in mind this was done for CCNA students, but I'm going to use it as a starting point to make a recommendation for a CCNP study. Packet Tracer is more than enough for the CCNA exam. It's free, that's the first advantage. The current version is 8.2. And so if you're going to start CCNA study or CCNP, you really should upgrade to that 8.2. It is a simulator, it's not an emulator, so it is software. So it simulates the Cisco iOS, it's not an actual copy of it, but it does simulate most of the features available. I've also got a Packet Tracer compatibility matrix that's also included with this course. Like I said, you'll note that half of the topics, Packet Tracer is suitable for around 50% of the topics. So the platform is traditional, it's a Windows program. The operating system, you can use it on multiple operating systems. The iOS license comes with it. It's not really a license, it's a simulator. So what I mean here is you don't have to buy any iOS license for it. The lab support is extensive. It's a well-known piece of software. It's well-known software with a lot of lab support. Ease of installation, real easy, just takes a couple minutes. It's easy to use. Performance is fast. You can run it on pretty much any hardware platform. It'll run fast. So I give it a CCNA rating of 10. Then there's GNS3, and this is free. It's an emulator, so it approximates the actual Cisco iOS software much more than Packet Tracer does. It's a virtual platform. You can run it on multiple operating systems. You do need to get an iOS license, though. And a lot of students will pick up these IOU licenses online, but it gives them nothing but problems getting it going. It just ends up being a waste of time, and some of the features don't work. You have to purchase a license for it. And in some cases, you have to add VMware. Based on the size of the topology and the complexity, you could have to buy Workstation Pro for VMware. The lab support's kind of moderate. The installation can be difficult if you've never done it from scratch and you need to get it all working. As far as the usage goes, it's moderate. It's similar to Packet Tracer, but it is slower than Packet Tracer, so it gets a lower mark. Virl is now called Cisco Modeling Labs. I think it's version 2 is the most current. That's $200 a year subscription for 1 year at a time. And also based on the topology, you could have to buy some VMware as well. It's an emulator, similar to GNS3. It's a virtual platform. You can run it on multiple operating systems. It comes with an iOS license, so you don't have to concern yourself with sourcing that. Lab support is, I would say, low. It's not as popular as GNS3 and Packet Tracer. The ease of installation is moderate. It can be difficult to install. It's easy to use, a lot slower. You need at least 32 gigs, sometimes 64. It runs really slow. So that's another thing to keep in mind as well. Now finally there's the physical equipment you can buy, source it online somewhere. And this typically is somewhere around 250 to 300, sometimes more, something like that. And it's a physical platform, so it's basically buying a rack and buying a bunch of switches and routers and cabling and connecting it all together, and it makes a big noise in your house and runs a lot of power. The iOS license could be included with the equipment, but not necessarily, so you have to make sure you have that. The ease of installation is moderate and performance is pretty fast. I haven't used I&E rack rental at all, but I know it's expensive. From some of the comments on Reddit, you have to buy tokens. The other problem is the scheduling of the time to get onto the rack rental. And you can only get onto it in sometimes 2-hour or 4-hour blocks. And you have to get in a queue just to get onto the equipment.